Hello, welcome to my first video. I'm Sarah and I will be showing you how to make this Twinbead Miyuki seed bracelet. This one was inspired by Beading for Perfectionists classy necklace with Superduo beads. For the materials you're going to need Twinbeads. I used about 10 to 15 grams of these silver lined Twinbeads. And I used Miyuki blue zircon 11Os. You can use which colors you like. We also need a clasp. I use the silver one. It's preferable to use one where you can add multiple strands. And then you're going to need 6 jumprings, 2 needles, size 12. And I used KO thread, or whichever thread you like as long as it's strong. I use pliers to get my thread through my needle, and you're going to need scissors. I also use a beading mat. For measuring your wrist, you're going to need a tape measure. First you want to measure your wrist and add about half a centimeter to the length. You don't want your bracelet to be too tight. Then I start off with 1.5 arm length of thread. And cut it, of course. Then I used my pliers. Oh, here I trim off the end because it was a bit ugly. Then I used my pliers to get it through my needle because the holes are very tiny. You want to add a needle to each side of the thread. Then pick up 8 seed beads with your right needle. And pull it down to the middle of your thread. Doesn't need to be the exact middle, but something like that. Then pick up 1 seed bead and cross it with your needle, which you can see is a bit tricky because the beads are quite small. So what you can also do is pull it down your thread a bit and then cross the needle. Then pull it down to the middle of your thread. Again, this doesn't have to be very precise. So you create a loop with this. Double thread your loop around 2 times because you want to make sure you still it doesn't break. It has to be strong. So I go about 3 times total. And then you want to make sure that your last bead that you added, where you cross your needles, that your thread goes out one side. Well, that one thread goes out at one side of the bead, and you can see it, that's not right here, so I go through my bead again. Now you've got your threads coming out of one side each of your last added bead. Then pick up 1 Miyuki at each needle. Pick up a Twinbead and cross it in the first... That was a car. Pick up a Twinbead and cross it in the first hole and pull it down. Then pick up 3 Miyuki at each needle. Go with your right needle through the right second hole of your twin bead and do the same with the left one on the left side. And you've got this. And as you can see, the threads don't look very pretty here. So what you want to do is get your right needle through the right last seed bead, like I'm doing here, so that it comes out of the seed bead instead of only the twin bead. Do the same on the left side and pull. And then you've got this. Then pick up a twin bead on each needle and a Miyuki on each needle. Then pick up another twin bead and cross it in the first hole. And pull it. Then you want to take your right needle again and go through the right seed bead. So then again your thread comes out of the seed bead instead of the twin bead. Pick up 2 Miyuki at each side. Go to the right side of your twin bead with your right needle and pull. And then I like to use a little shortcut. I pick up my left needle now and then go right through the twin bead and then the seed bead on the right side. Then you skip a little step, which will save you time because this is a time-consuming bracelet. And then you've got your threads coming out of the sides of the twin bead and the Miyuki. And pick up 1 twin bead at each needle again. Pick up a Miyuki at each needle and cross again in the first hole of the twin bead. Pull again. And then with your right needle go through the right seed bead and with your left go through the left. And pull. Then pick up 2 Miyuki at each needle. Or you can first pick up on the right needle, pull it through the right side of the second hole of the twin bead, and then pick up 2 Miyuki with your left needle and go through the twin bead and the last seed bead on the right side. And then with your now left needle go through the last seed bead added on the left side. And pull. And then go on like this. Until you've got the right length. You've got to make sure that the right length is your wrist length plus half a centimeter to get a bit of room so that your bracelet isn't too tight. And then you've got to take the length minus your clasp and minus your jump rings and minus the loop. My loop is around half centimeter, my clasp is around 2 centimeters. When you're almost at the right length, you want your middle twin bead to be the last bead, like this. This time, don't go through the side beads. So pick up 2 Miyuki and go through the right side of the twin bead, and go with your left thread to the left through the left side of the twin bead, and go out the twin bead instead of the seed beads, like this. We will correct. It won't look very pretty when we end this, and we will make sure that it will look pretty at the end of all these videos. Then pick up 1 seed bead at each needle again and pick up 1 seed bead again and then cross it with both your needles. And pull it down. Then pick up 8 seed beads with your right needle. And make a loop with it going through the left side of your last seed bead, which I will do in a second. Like this. And then pull. My camera doesn't focus well here, sorry for that. Then go through your loop again around 2 times so that you've got it threaded around 3 times, or whichever you prefer. What I then like to do is make several surgical knots to make it 100% sure that my bracelet doesn't go loose or break. I like to go through a seed bead, make a knot, go through the next seed bead, make another knot, etc. Sometimes I make 2 knots. I just do whatever feels right at a moment. But you can do whatever you like to end it. So go on like this until you think it's strong enough. And then cut your thread off. You can also put a lot of clear nail polish on it to make sure that it doesn't get loose or that the knots go unknotted. And then you want to do the same thing with your left needle and your left thread. So go through a seed bead, make a surgical knot, go through your next seed bead, make another surgical knot. And by pulling it tight you won't see the knots. My bracelet is still a bit loose here, but we will fix that in a video. In another video, I mean. And then you can trim off your last thread. And then you've got this. And this is the one I already made, and you can see it's the same. So I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.